Tonight, Columbus City Schools Board of Education made some big decisions on the future of the district. They decided to cut millions of dollars from the school budget. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine. This has been in the works for months as public schools across the state face $2 billion in cuts over the next 2 years. 10 TV's Carly Dion is live outside Columbus City Schools headquarters right now. Carly, this is quite an emotional meeting tonight.
Jeff, Yolanda, it was. And after about 3 hours of deliberation tonight, the board ultimately managed to reach their goal in making those cuts, totaling more than $50.4 million. Now here's what they decided. They will be cutting administrator positions as well as non-personnel positions, which totals more than $15 million. They'll also be cutting transportation for students grades K through 8 who attend school buildings other than their neighboring schools or 100% lottery schools. They're making cuts to staffing, but that resolution was amended to the amount of $25.9 million. The superintendent now must decide by the end of January which specific positions will be cut. With those cuts alone, they reached the $50 million mark. But they also voted to close 4 schools in the district, which includes Duxbury Park Arts Impact Elementary School, Fairwood Alternative Elementary School, Como Elementary School, and the former Everett Middle School, which is also known as Columbus Gifted Academy.
We know that we are talking about jobs. We are talking about the livelihood of our employees. We are talking about reducing supports to our schools at a time when we know our students need more. Post-pandemic, our students are coming to us with more needs, more mental health needs. And so we take these decisions very heavily and they weigh on us.
And as for when those schools would close, Fairwood is scheduled to close by the next school year, and the other 3 schools would close by the 2027-2028 school year. Guys?
Carly, transportation cuts for busing high school students, that was always part of the proposed resolutions. What did they decide about that tonight?
So tonight, 2 resolutions were presented. The first was cutting busing for high school students. And the second was to cut busing for high school students, but provide COTA bus passes to those students. The board seemed to be leaning toward the option to provide the COTA bus passes, but board member Jennifer Adair was the last one called to vote and got emotional about the decision.
I don't understand why we're here, and I honestly do not know. I do not know how to vote on this because we need a reduction. We have to do a reduction, but to me, this doesn't make sense either.
Now, the board ultimately did not pass either one of those resolutions, but rather proposed an additional resolution to create a work group that would determine mass transit for high school students. Now, that work group would be required to provide their recommendations by January of 2027. Live in downtown Columbus, Carly Dion, 10 TV News.